There's a lot of uncertainty with Cardano and cryptos in general right now. So I wanted to take a minute and talk about this. So first, let's break down even more Cardano partnerships that you probably haven't heard about yet. And then we'll talk about the future of Cardano and why I feel this is still a sleeping giant. Also, as promised, there are now more spots available in our Patreon. I know we had about 500 people eagerly waiting to grab a spot in the last few days. Well, it's been totally sold out. Now is the time to grab one before they sell out again. With this membership, on top of getting a private community, more content, and live coaching, you will also get my buy and sell alerts for both stocks and crypto. If you had followed these alerts for the last 6 months, you'd be up more than 100%. And that just makes me so happy when research pays off. Anyways, that will be linked down in the description below, so just make sure to grab your spot. Now let's talk partnerships. The first one is Cardano's partnership with Veritree. So if we go over to their press release here, we can see that Cardano has teamed up with global land restoration and tree planting verification company Veritree to secure its records on Cardano's blockchain. Going forward, organizations using Veritree's platform will be provided with an immutable, transparent, and auditable blockchain-based report on all of Veritree's afforestation and reforestation efforts. Is this new and groundbreaking crypto technology? No. Is it a solid use case? Yes, absolutely, and it's for a great cause. So it's a great use case because, of course, if you're donating money to charity, you want to make sure that that money is actually being used on what you're spending that money for. If you're donating to a charity that plants trees, you want to make sure that they're actually planting trees. So it is a great use case for a cryptocurrency to be able to track this information, and then you can actually check as a donator, like, oh, hey, the trees are actually planted. Here's the cause. Cardano Forest, 25% funded so far. How it works is for every ADA that you donate, you, of course, are helping to plant trees, but you also get this tree token in return. So it's an interesting way to both combine charity and cryptocurrencies. And this will also unlock certain other things like NFTs, and the tokens will be able to be used in the future. Now, the second new partnership is Cardano's partnership with Rival. So if we look at the press release here, it says Cardano has also partnered with leading esports and gaming platform Rival to develop agnostic NFT marketplaces, fan rewards, and more for Rival and their partners. And if we look at their website, we can see a little bit more about what exactly they do. And I had to actually do some digging. It's always frustrating when you're looking up a company and you don't know right away what the company actually does, but here's a summary. So esports are getting more and more popular. This company Rival basically approaches traditional clubs or teams and they say, hey, you're a sports team or a football club with a huge following of fans. If you also offer esports events, you will do even more in sales. And I'm sure they have some presentation that shows like this team made this much money. And the team says, all right, game on, no pun intended. And where Cardano comes in is they will also provide the NFT component to esports and building out these communities even further. So now Rival will not only be able to say, hey, you big famous sports team, you can make more money with esports, but they can also now say, hey, you know how all these people are making so much money off of NFTs right now? Well, you can do that too. And you can tie this into loyalty rewards so you can do cool things like make money off NFTs and use those NFTs as passes to exclusive events. So it's kind of interesting. It's one of the more exciting partnerships here. It's a great use case. It says Cardano will facilitate the sales of NFTs, the ability to create and distribute NFTs, the redemption of NFTs for physical goods, and marketplace-based royalties within the Rival platform. And then, of course, how Cardano benefits from this is by simply having more people using the blockchain and using ADA. For every additional team or organization that starts minting NFTs on Cardano, this simply adds more users and more people familiar with the Cardano blockchain, and that just helps out the entire ecosystem. Now, the next partnership is with UBX. Now, who is UBX? This is the fintech arm of Union Bank, a bank in the Philippines that has just over $15 billion in assets. UBX is kind of like their moonshot department. So they take on these audacious goals, and most of them probably won't pan out, but their moonshots, maybe some of them will. So this department seems to have a heavy focus on crypto-related services. And actually, in fact, they have their own token. It's called the UBX token. And looking at their ventures tab, we can see online lending, end-to-end payments, and digital transformation, which is basically just banking services for rural areas. Now, what does this partnership do? What does it do for Cardano specifically? To be honest, it's not a huge deal. So UBX is offering a Cardano stake pool. So UBX will run a Cardano node and allow users to delegate to their pool for staking rewards. Like I said, it's not the biggest deal ever. It's just one more domino to kind of topple over, helping to prove the legitimacy of Cardano. You know, a big bank wanting to run a node for Cardano. Now, there is one additional thing. If we go back to their website here, we can see a tab for digital identities. Now, this could very well mean an expanded partnership with Cardano, since Cardano is basically the expert at digital identities at this point, but of course we don't know for certain. Now, the final new partnership here is with AID Tech. So this is another crypto project who focuses on digital identities. It looks like they have two major areas of focus: this enterprise insurance API, which basically makes insurance claims a little bit more streamlined by creating digital identities and working between customers and insurance companies. And then they have this trace donation that tracks donations and charities. Maybe they should team up with that tree charity to double the blockchain exposure. Now, how does Cardano fit in here? It appears that Cardano's role here is simply as an advisor and for technical guidance. Now, this makes me wonder if Cardano is planning some kind of white label service for their crypto services and decentralized identities, but we don't have all the information on that quite yet. Now, last week, we talked about two of Cardano's biggest new partnerships. So I'm going to briefly cover those in case you missed them, and then we'll break down everything else that we haven't yet talked about. So first, we have Cardano and Dish/Boost Mobile. Cardano is going to help out Dish/Boost in two ways. First, with digital identities. Who would have guessed it? Telecom companies, they spend heavily on security infrastructure to keep their user data safe, and they're constantly getting hacked, and this puts user data at risk. And then second is a blockchain-based loyalty point program. So Dish plans to use Cardano to build out this kind of loyalty points marketplace for their users. And then these loyalty points ideally can be used for anything, and third-party developers will be able to build on this marketplace, allowing you to use those points to buy really anything. So they're trying to catch up to credit card companies and their points in about a year and really make all that ground by using blockchain tech. And then we have a new partnership with Cardano and Chainlink. Now, there's a little bit of confusion here, so I'm going to do some clarification. Chainlink is the biggest blockchain oracle, powering about 70% of all DeFi in all cryptocurrencies. Their job is to get real-world data and put it on smart contracts. However, Chainlink was built for Ethereum. So Cardano smart contracts, now that they've been launched, wouldn't have access to all that Chainlink data. Now, this partnership will allow Cardano smart contract developers to be able to be more creative and build more quickly by having necessary data feeds ready and available right away. Now, I know a lot of viewers on this channel are fans of Ergo, and we're worried right away that this partnership means Ergo is now worthless. The thought was that Ergo is also an oracle working closely with Cardano, and Cardano just up and left them in the dust. And this isn't true. There's two parts to this. So the Chainlink and Cardano partnership is great for Cardano because it means developers on Cardano will soon have all the same data feeds that developers on Ethereum have. But this is not mutually exclusive. Ergo is still in the picture. There will be many oracles besides just these two, and Ergo has completely different methods, including oracle pools, which is a very interesting concept in itself. Not to mention, Ergo does many other things beyond just oracle services, including stable coins. They have their own DEX. Now, second, Cardano, Ergo, and a few others recently joined what's called the UTXO Alliance, where they're going to share research, focus on interoperability, so communication across different cryptocurrencies, and programmability. So they just entered into an even deeper partnership. And here's some of the things that they're looking to solve. Instrumental questions around how data is transferred between different blockchain environments, the amount of data used, the speed with which data is processed, transaction costs, and energy usage. Now, the point that I am most excited about is that interoperability, because right now, a crypto in itself might be pretty smart, but they don't communicate with other cryptos. It's like having two websites, but there's no way to send any information between the two websites. They're pretty dumb in themselves. So the interoperability goal is awesome, and someone's going to figure this out, and whoever figures it out is going to be rewarded handsomely. If this UTXO Alliance really nails this down, it's going to benefit everyone in the alliance in a huge way. Now let's look to the future of Cardano. So I've recently been talking to many developers on projects for Cardano for this big video that I'm working on. You guys are going to love it. And I noticed a reoccurring theme that I wanted to bring up. So everyone I'm talking to feels that not only is this the beginning, but it's the beginning of the beginning for Cardano. So yes, smart contracts are finally live, and that's exciting. Cardano has programmability, but there's still many more exciting things to come. Like, we're just at the very beginning. Like, we're almost just looking at the starting line. It's almost like we haven't even started yet. So two of the biggest things are, first, scalability through layer 2 scaling. This is going to be huge in itself. We're talking transaction speeds that can handle basically any volume, and applications that are kind of unheard of in cryptocurrencies right now. And then we have governance, which is being able to vote on the future of Cardano as a community. And this is when Cardano really takes a life of its own and begins being driven by the community. And I'm very excited about that. So right now, we're all kind of just sitting here with like a stick poking Cardano, and we're like, hey, wake up, do a trick, come on. And Cardano's like, I got nothing to show you. I got capability, but there's nothing built on me yet. So we need to look at the context here. The development tools are here, but they're here just less than a month ago. Teams are now really just starting to build. I mean, there isn't a single DEX running right now. There's one testnet DEX running, and that's Ergo DEX. There isn't an NFT marketplace with royalties yet. Like, there really isn't much except for just the tools at this point. But the tools are there, and now it's time to build. So I think if you're someone like me who spent a lot of time thinking about cryptos, it almost feels like we're late to the party sometimes. You think of Cardano at $2 and you're like, I'm way too late. But if you zoom out, we're still on the starting line. I mean, partnerships can just now finally begin. Applications can just now be built. There's a lot of downward pressure on crypto right now, with uncertainty in legislation, concerns with China, and probably too high of expectations with Cardano on launch day, even though most people were saying, hey, don't expect a whole lot on launch day. And minute to minute, it might feel like the space is dying, or it's over with, or you're too late. But all you need to do is zoom out. And I promise you will be excited all over again. In this community, we really need to start thinking in 5 to 10 year horizons, not 5 to 10 days. I have no idea what Cardano's price will be next month, but I can tell you, if things keep trending in the direction that they're headed, we will all be sitting pretty in 5 and 10 years from now. Not financial advice, of course. So anyways, that's going to do it for today. Join the Patreon for more pep talks. And as always, have a profitable day.